What is the Casper test? Well, it's a computer-based sampling of personal characteristics, and it's part of the ALTA Suite assessment, along with the Snapshot and the Duet. Casper is sometimes used by professional programs to evaluate applicants' non-cognitive abilities. And if you're familiar with multiple mini-interviews, then it's even easier to imagine the Casper test as an online written MMI. Casper questions consist of written or video prompts or scenarios, and then you are typically asked about your thoughts on the case, how to resolve the situation, or even how your perspective would change if one of the variables was different. Of course, all of this has to be typed in a limited number of characters and in a limited amount of time. So in this video, I'll share you our tips to help you ace your Casper test. Hi, I'm Natalie Stoberman and I'm an admissions associate here at BMO. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe on whatever social media channel that you're watching this on so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And if you'd like us to help you get ready for Casper, visit caspertestprep.com to schedule your free initial consultation. And FYI, check out the timestamps in the description of this video so you can navigate to specific sections that you're interested in. Here's what we're going to cover. The fundamentals of the Casper test. How to prepare, reading up on headlines, debates, and hot topics. Understanding Casper test timing. Learning how the Casper test is evaluated. How to answer Casper questions. How was the Casper test scored? Reviewing practice questions and expert responses. Practicing with realistic simulations. And how to get expert one-on-one feedback. And we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions. So comment below for your chance to win. And there's this one thing that will dramatically increase your Casper score. And I'll explain this in the end of the video, so keep watching to find out. So let's get started. The fundamentals of the Casper test. At its core, the Casper test is an online situational judgment test claimed to evaluate an applicant's qualitative or soft skills, such as professionalism, maturity, and communication. Oftentimes, Casper is used as an intermediary or additional step between application and later in-person interviews. It allows the admissions committee to determine a candidate's likely suitability for the course of study and profession. Evaluations like the Casper test are intended to allow students to provide crucial insights into their own priorities, values, and interpersonal skills, so that these can be considered alongside their academic achievements. In fact, Casper has been shown to count for up to a third of an applicant's pre-interview score, meaning that effective Casper test prep is absolutely crucial for performing well and getting an interview. In taking the Casper test, you will be presented with 12 prompts, one at a time, and you will have to respond to a set of 3 questions related to each prompt. The prompts are presented in either video or text format, and they're often based on thought-provoking, real-life situations, professional ethics, and hot topics in your field. And the associated questions offer you the opportunity to demonstrate key qualities sought in professionals in your discipline. Note that while the Casper test is intended to gauge certain characteristics in evaluating applicants in specific disciplines, the prompts themselves are not necessarily based exclusively on information in those disciplines. Instead, the prompts and questions could be related to any real-life activity, such as incidents witnessed or experienced in everyday life. Even if you do get a question related to your field, it is understood that you yourself are not yet a practicing professional, so specialized or advanced knowledge of the field are not required. They simply want to see your priorities and initial reactions and tendencies in responding to challenging scenarios. How to prepare. Read up on headlines, debates, and hot topics as an initial step. And then you can begin your Casper prep by reading news articles so that you're up to date with current events, or by paying particular attention to patient cases, court rulings, or other headlines that are related to your future profession. You can also begin reviewing ethics. And of course, since Casper is a test on your professional characteristics, spend some time reflecting on your own past experiences and how they've helped you develop certain non-cognitive skills, such as having the capacity to problem solve, resolve conflicts, or collaborate with others. Casper will not use prompts that exactly mirror your past personal experiences, but by going through the reflection process of contemplating your past experiences, you'll be able to identify similarities between what you've learned and the prompts that you're given. And then you'll be able to formulate a response quickly and appropriately. Understand Casper test timing. One key area where the Casper test differs from the MMI is in the timing. It is like an MMI without being given time to prepare your responses and with less time to state your answer. You'll have 5 minutes to type answers for the 3 questions presented in each station. So the time pressure is pretty big, but there are strategies to overcome this. Prepare yourself as best as you can. Manage your anxieties on test day and keep your wits about you. Focus on the quality, not quantity of your response. Bonus tip: feeling unsure about your ability to type quickly and accurately? Search online for free programs to help improve your typing speed. Learn how the Casper test is evaluated. You might hear that there are no right or wrong answers on a Casper test. So is it really that ambiguous? Not really. Casper raters do not have an answer key, so there is technically no single right answer. Instead, responses are analyzed to see if they reflect the qualities of a good, moral professional. There are often a few reasonable responses to give to a given scenario, and no answer is truly wrong either. However, there are responses that either do not reflect good personal or professional qualities or are inappropriate. So if you wouldn't share your answer in a face-to-face interview, you're probably on the wrong track with your response. And if you cannot imagine a professional saying it, don't say it. Answers that are poorly composed or demonstrate limited understanding and reasoning will score poorly. Answers that are unprofessional can result in a red flag for an entire test. The Casper test is marked on a numerical scale that reflects how well your response either meets or does not meet the assessor's expectations. And each station has 3 questions and is rated on a scale of 9. Simply answering the questions is likely enough to receive an average score. However, average scores for all of your responses are not enough to succeed. To exceed expectations, you'll have to provide excellent reasoning for how and why you formulated your decision through an effective communication style. It's not impossible to score well, and this can be done with preparation and practice. How to answer Casper questions. Let's explore some of the things that Casper test raters are looking for in reviewing your answers. In each response to the prompt, evaluators are trained to mark based on the following. How many of the key ideas in the prompt have you identified? Whether you've isolated the key pressing issues and addressed this maturely and professionally. Whether you are objective, non-judgmental, professional, mindful, compassionate, and diplomatic, and whether you've carried over any assumptions from the prompt, or better yet, whether you've questioned such assumptions and applied critical thinking skills in exploring the scenario. Your ability to avoid a biased, one-sided response and to consider multiple perspectives. Whether you demonstrate consistent moral and ethical values and whether your adherence to such values is maintained under pressure. Your ability to provide clear, concise answers demonstrating effective communication skills. Whether your response feels scripted, insincere, or canned, and whether it's authentic and genuine. Whether you pursue positive resolution to conflict or whether you back away from conflict or act as a bystander. And if your response manages to do all of these things, it would likely receive strong marks in the evaluation. How is the Casper test scored? At this point, many students get nervous because now that you've seen how the Casper test have scored, you've seen the long list of things to consider and also knowing that you have 5 minutes or less to put an answer together that is successful for each station. So if you've been a student for a while and have taken many tests, it would seem logical that with each station having 3 questions and a total of possibly 9 points for each station, each of those 3 questions would be worth 3 points. However, that is not how the Casper test is scored. Rather, each station is evaluated as a whole out of 9, regardless of how many questions are answered. So even if you leave a question completely blank, you will not necessarily lose points. It's absolutely possible to receive an excellent score even if only 2 questions are answered. Review practice questions and expert responses. No one knows exactly what questions they will receive on the actual Casper test, but reviewing practice questions and expert responses will help you internalize the workings of strong, effective responses. Even if you don't actually get questions on the Casper test similar to your practice tests, you will still have the qualities and the structures to make your answers your own. Remember, the point is not to memorize content while you're reviewing your practice questions. The point is to develop a particular set of tools for answering questions in a way that's meaningful and reflective of you and your own unique experiences and observations. Practice with realistic simulations. It's one thing to review practice questions and expert responses. It's quite another thing to actually practice in test-like conditions. So while you want to spend some time familiarizing yourself with question and answer types, you'll need to move from that to realistic simulations that are timed and that have both video and text-based stations, so that you can begin to develop familiarity with the actual test-taking conditions. At BMO, our Casper test prep programs provide exactly that. Realistic simulations that mimic actual test conditions as much as possible, so that you know exactly how to prepare for Casper. This realistic Casper test prep is about more than just getting the methodology and techniques down. It's also about knowing what to expect. Feeling comfortable in the test environment will help you mitigate nervousness, stress, and anxiety that comes with taking tests, especially those of particular importance like the Casper test. Get expert one-on-one feedback. Anyone can watch an Olympic athlete and try to mimic their movements to make their practice better. But without having an expert watching what you're doing and identifying things that you may not even realize you're doing, you can only go so far. This is applicable in nearly any context where mastery is pursued. If we're not consulting with professionals who can give us an objective evaluation of our work, we're likely to practice imperfectly. And only perfect practice makes perfect. This is why our one-on-one Casper test prep consultations are so highly effective, rated, and sought after. Our experts are dedicated to your success. It's literally their job. We're all passionate practicing professionals in relevant fields, and we want you to do well. And our Casper test prep feedback sessions show you how to prepare for Casper by allowing our experts to review your answers, highlight exactly what you're doing well and what still needs work, and helps you identify errors or weaknesses that you may not see yourself, simply because you're not trained to see them yet. Check out our blog to learn more about Casper questions and answer strategies. I've included a link in the description of this video for easy access. And if you'd like us to help you with getting a high Casper score, visit caspertestprep.com to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And if you have any questions about Casper test prep that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comment section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget that we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions. So comment below for your chance to win. Thanks for watching and see you next time.